The mysterious death of a Kenyan gay rights activist is causing a lot of stir on the internet. Edwin Chiloba was found deceased and stashed in a metal box dumped along a street in a community in Kenya 4 days after the New Year. What is more shocking to a lot of people is that the clothes in which he was found dead in was the same outfit he was seen partying with on New Year's Eve 31st night of 2022 into the new year January 1 of 2023, which clearly indicates the possibility that he may have been killed on New Year's Day or the day after. Before it was confirmed that Edwin was the guy in the box, it was first reported on the 4th of January 2023 that a motorcyclist saw a strange vehicle drive to a point on the road where they dropped a metal box before driving off. The motorcyclists, or the boda as they call it in Kenya, quickly alerted the police, who were at a nearby checkpoint. They didn't open the box themselves. It was after the police came that the box was eventually opened to reveal the decomposing body of a young man dressed in female clothes. At first, they thought it was a woman because some part of the body, the entire face was wrapped, but eventually it was revealed that that was a male dressed in female clothing. Now, this happened on the 4th of January. The discovery of the box and the human in it was on the 4th of January. As at this point, no one knew who he was or where he came from or anything about him. Now, it's still not clear if Edwin had been reported missing, but 2 days later, after this man in the box was going around the headlines, it will be later confirmed that the person stashed in the box, deceased, was a popular model and fashion designer and also gay rights activist named Edwin Chiloba. The internet has reacted negatively regarding his death. A lot of people have condemned the killers. Some have called it a horrible news and a tragic ending to a promising young man. And many people have termed it a homophobic attack. And for what it's worth, despite the fact that Chiloba was a very openly gay man who was vocal in the fighting of the rights of the LGBTQ community in Kenya, there are still other evidence or there are still other things that happened that a lot of people are holding on to, citing it to be the major reason why his death might be a homophobic attack, or in this case, another homophobic attack. Now, what is not clear regarding this situation is the condition of his body when it was found. From the pictures circulating around the internet, he seemed fully dressed in his outfit, the same outfit he wore partying on New Year's Day with friends. There are videos of it going around, taking pictures and making videos. So he wasn't stripped, unless he was and was later dressed in the clothes. But from the look of things, it seemed as though the clothes never left his body. Another thing again that we can't tell is if at all he had injuries on his body that were very visible. If it was some sort of gunshots, there would be gun wounds or stab wounds around his body. But nothing has been said regarding that nature. The only thing that is very obvious from what we are seeing is the fact that he was stashed in an iron box, covered in clothes, mattresses, and seeming other form of trousers or dresses. And this honestly paints a good picture. I mean, with the box and the clothes and the trouser that we could see from the pictures of his body and the metal entity there, you could assume or deduct that he was most possibly killed in a house or in a home of somebody. The box in question is one of those boxes where people put their valuable clothes, jewelries, beads and all of those things. Those big ass box that looks like some sort of a casket in a way, but is mostly used for newly wedded wife who moved to their husband's house back in the day. I've seen that box in movies mostly and in pictures for what it's worth. So it's clear that somebody had to remove clothes from that box in order to put his body. However, there are still clothes that were used to cover his body inside the box. A bedsheet that looks as though it might have been a duvet, and there's a jean trousers also in the picture with a few other clothes-like things there. Now, if these clothes are not that of Edwin, then they belong to someone. And I think that could indicate that he was killed in someone's house. However, if those clothes or the mattress belong to Edwin, that also could mean that he was killed in his own house. So either ways, he was killed in someone's house. Could it be that he had gone home with someone that night of the New Year's Eve? Or could it be that someone went home with him the night of the New Year's Eve. I feel like all the police have to do is trace his movements around that New Year's Eve. He took pictures with people. Question these people. Who did they see him live with or come with? Who does he live with? They should check his own house or his own apartment and see the situation there. Has it been broken into? Are his things missing? Was he robbed? This could give the police a lot of insights. And if for some reason Chiloba's house is intact, then there is somebody to look out for. Somebody he must have gone home with. Someone who he may have trusted enough to go pay a visit the night of the New Year. That is the period of time people want to be with loved ones or people that they may be into. Is there a chance that he had gone to meet a friend he thought was a friend? Or is there a chance that he was lured and deceived by a group of people to an after-house party that turned out to be an ambush? Because one of the reasons why people are believing that this is a homophobic attack is due to the fact that in 2022, he was physically attacked and he posted about it with a bleeding mouth and a bleeding nose, telling everyone how he was harassed by a group of boys who beat him up because of his nature, because of him being effeminate and wearing women clothing. And people remember that incident freshly, and they now assume that maybe this is also the same case. There's a whole lot that this case is still yet to unfold. And hopefully the Kenyan police do their due diligence with this case, with this situation. Because often at times when people of a marginalized community are murdered or affected, it usually just goes off and we don't hear of it anymore. And the sad part with this is that Edwin was said to be an orphan at the time of his death. He had lost his parents, both parents, at a very early age and had to move from one relation to another and had to fend for himself, build himself up, build his brand, become the icon that he is in the fashion community and in the entertainment industry there in Kenya. He is quite known and notable. I also saw somewhere that he had foster parents who were both white. It's not clear if they lived in Kenya or if they lived somewhere else, but he did have foster parents who may have supported him to a point. It's not clear who he lived with or who was his roommate or who he shared an apartment with at the time of his death, but those things could also help the police know where to look in this case. One thing that we know for sure is there's a chance that he may have been killed on New Year's Day or the day after, or he may have been held and tortured and punished and made to suffer before eventually passing. The police have said that his body has been taken for autopsy to determine what really caused his death. Some people have suggested that due to the nature of how his body was positioned in the pictures that were circulating, that it looked like he may have drowned and may have been brought there and dropped there. I don't know why, if he drowned, why they didn't just leave him in the water. Or maybe he was tortured in a bathtub or something, in a house or something. There's just a lot of speculations going and nothing is clear at this point other than the fact that the clothes he wore on New Year's Eve was the same clothes he was found in 4 days later in that box. So where was he? Who could account for him within the 1st and the 4th? Who saw him? Where was he seen? Who did he speak with? If the police can get a hold of his mobile phones, they could also get some answers. Who was he chatting with? Who was he speaking with? Trace the phone to whomever they could catch the person with, if the phone was stolen or if it's still with him. And slowly this case could be unraveled and the answers that everyone is looking for could be gotten, and hopefully the perpetrators would be punished. His death is rather unfortunate because it was said that he had made a post and he was very hopeful for 2023, citing that he was going to move his brand forward and get a shop, and he was really looking forward to making his dreams come true in 2023, not knowing that the heart of man had other plans. It's very unfortunate and really sad. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to stay subscribed. Should there be any updates regarding this story, I will be happy to update you guys. So stay subscribed, stay following. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and click the notification button. Should there be any updates regarding this story, you'll be the first to get updated. So thank you guys for watching.